But of course, the boy who thought he knew true love would fall to the king who shows it to everyone. What's up, guys? I'm Hunter, and here we are to do a nice little quick review and breakdown of chapter 251 of Jujutsu Kaisen, which is known as The Decisive Battle in the Uninhabited Demon-Infested Shinjuku, part 23 out of 50. So, this chapter, it's got a lot, but we ain't got a lot of time. So let's not waste any more of it and let's hop right into it. Editing me. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a... Wait a minute. Pencil here. Fun fact, do happen to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, we've got 4 sections and 5 minutes. If you do not remember how we do these kind of reviews, we give 5 minutes to the plot, 5 minutes to the characters, 5 minutes to the scaling, and then 5 minutes to the future. So let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into the characters. If I can find the gosh darn stopwatch, please. 5 minutes. I need you. Plot. All right. So major plot, but not really major plot. Once again, we run into the issue of the decisive battle in the uninhabited demon-infested Shinjuku, part 23 out of 50. Nothing can really happen, legally speaking, plot-wise, because if I were to summarize, the whole idea of the plot is to defeat Sukuna and save Megumi. Neither of those two things happen this chapter. So on a macro level, nothing's happened. So in that case, I should give the plot like a 0 out of 5, right? Absolutely. So we're just going to move on right... No, I'm going to give the plot a juicy 5 out of 5. You may be wondering, whoa. What do you mean? A lot of things happen in this chapter on the micro level, which still matter massively to the plot. Number 1, this is the biggest one. Megumi is going to need a pep talk. Or a beating. Or a wake-up call, or something like someone needs to wake this man up, because it is established here that within Megumi Fushigoro's soul, any will to live had already been extinguished, which changes the game entirely. For the longest time, the game was seemingly hit Sukuna enough time with our soul man to make sure the big king man can no longer soul dominate the small shadow man. Potential man gets woken up, potential man is saved. Game's changed. Yuji now has to be Todo and wake up Megumi. Because now the game is completely changed with Megumi being gone. This is a major plot progression and confirmation. Number 2, another major plot thing. Megumi's soul, maybe, kind of, sort of, isn't affected by the unlimited void, which is another big issue that a lot of people were worried about, but he's cognizant enough to speak. Whether or not he's actually okay, he's clearly not. But that's a major plot development. Other major plot development, look at Yuta. I'm laughing and that's bad. But look at Yuta Kotsu. If this isn't a major plot development, I don't know what is. And unfortunately, as much copium as I'd like to huff, he's looking a lot like Gojo right now. He's cleanly in half. If you can't tell, this image right here goes to show that the world slash, the spatial slash, it went straight through, bro. It popped out his back. And notably, a big piece of copium that a lot of people are huffing is that Rika's still unmanifested, right? The ring finger's gone, y'all. the ring hand is gone. Maybe if these positions were swapped and the ring was still on the top half, then maybe we'd have some... But unless Rika literally grabs him and holds him together as he tries to forcefully RCT himself, bro's cooked. So losing Yuta Kotsu, and especially losing Yuta Kotsu's domain expansion, massive, gargantuan, crazy, stupid, this is crazy. And of course, the last major plot development, or not the last one, but I'd say not, the last major one, Maki Zenin has shown up, which does 2 things. Number 1, it confirms, unless, once again, he shows up next chapter, it hard confirms that Akari's on his own. If he loses to Urume, then Urume's coming. And not in the way that a lot of people want Urume to be coming, because they're going to come and cause even more havoc on the battlefield with Ryoma and Sukuna, which Maki is now going to have to deal with, and maybe it's just going to be Maki and Yuji, if Yuta's truly gone. Do I think Yuta's truly gone? We'll talk about that more in the character section. But another major plot development, or at least another major plot confirmation, we do loosely have an idea of where Sukuna's finger is. That final one, meaning we are hard executing this plot point. It is done. It is cooked. We no longer have to worry about it. Big thing that a lot of people worried about, what happens if we beat this Sukuna and there's still the final finger out there, final fingering? while Yuta does not explicitly say he ate it, like, he might as well have, as he says, you can retrieve your final finger, could you? So, that's, at least to me, it's very clearly implying that Yuta consumed it, or Rika consumed it, and thusly it is no longer in play for Sukuna, and thusly that piece of his soul is erased, which has the twofold effect of securing us the fact that there will be no more Sukuna if they beat this one, and also secures the fact that this Sukuna has no other hope. No other backups, being that he's going to be going for it, because he realizes that if he falls here, he's done. He's going to be meeting that sweet embrace way sooner than he planned. So, once again, like I said, on a macro level, nothing happened. Suga's not beat, and Megumi's not saved. But on a... said macro. On a micro level, there's still so much... also, I guess it's kind of a plot progression. You just confirm to have blood manipulation. I mean, neat, but that's not... Once again, that's more of a scaling / character thing, which is nice. But the other major plot point is that Hana fumbled. Everyone, I'm not going to be able to talk about this too much here because I have 17 seconds. But notably, Hana reveals that the Jacob's Ladder only targets the technique. Or specifically the target of the technique. AKA, Hana could have erased Sukuna without harming Megumi. And she knows this, and she fumbled. That's sad. That's embarrassing. Time's up. Let's talk about character. Alright, stop it. I need to restart the timer. Bam! Alright, character. Once again, nothing necessarily new. Actually, no. Big character thing. Once again, it goes back to the most major plot thing. Megumi Fushiguro. Now, this man has been getting hit, slammed, slandered, abused, knocked around, beat up, body bag, whatever adjectives you want to use, verbs, I guess, whatever adjectives you want to use by the community for let's just call it something. Like, we'll just say he's sold everybody, right? He sold Gojo, he sold Higuruma, he sold Kashimo, he's selling Yuji, he may have just sold Yuta, he probably just sold Rika, he's probably going to sell Maki. But if Yuji's the only character left at the end of all this, it's Megumi's fault. And here's the thing. On a character level, you may be thinking, Pencilman, isn't this awful? He sacked everybody. Yuji Todori would have gotten back up. 1, no, he wouldn't have. He needed a Toto, which is what Yuji's going to do. And 2, this makes sense for the character. And I do like it. Notably, while I was perfectly fine with Megumi waking up, and then we get Megumi with an evolved Ten Shadows technique breaking away from Sukuna, or then we have Sukuna and Yuji, or like Sukuna versus Megumi and Itadori in the Soul Realm, and then we get Megumi finally being able to control Big Raga, the Obstapa, and Yuji Todori finally showing off what these darn elbows do against Sukuna, and we had this crazy cool battle. I'm perfectly fine with this. The man's really, really sad. He lost the only connection that he had to his past life, and presumably, we don't get much interaction here, which is unfortunate, but it says enough. He also believes he likely just slaughtered his only father figure that he ever knew. He does not remember Toji by his own admission. So, yeah, he's going through it, and he does not have a Toto. So, Yuji needs to step up. I'm actually really, really down with this characterization for Megumi. Fantastic. Another character thing that, once again, isn't necessarily anything new, but I have to appreciate because this chapter really highlights it. I love the sheer joy that Sukuna takes in this battle. There are few moments where this man is not smiling, and I greatly appreciate it. The composure, the understanding, the respect, and the joy of Sukuna in this battle that literally determines his fate is amazing. From him saying, "I see, quite the meal," with a smile on his face, to being smacked in the belly mouth and kneed in the face, he simply grins at it all. And to see him still go on further and further and further after all this damage, after getting his tongue ripped out, his face torn open. And remember, his RCT is trash right now. These wounds might as well be permanent. His arms are literally getting torn apart, slashed to ribbons, torn off again. Man's in the worst state we may have ever seen him physically. Not really. He still looked kind of worse than Megumi. But even at the end of it all, to the very end, when pierced in the back by a blade from somebody he never would have expected, he still smiles. Beautiful. Fantastic character work. Nice, juicy stuff for Sukuna. And once again, a further elaboration on the unbreakable spirit, the unbreakable determination, the unbreakable drive and will of Yuji Itadori. When faced down with the fact that he just had his whole body torn apart, he simply demands himself to rise up, to heal, and to keep fighting. W-mans, W stuff, W writing. And of course, you know I gotta give credit to my main man, my main beast, my main dog of dogs, Yuta Okotsu, for being Yuta Okotsu, and going in pure hard metal. What are the characters you know are literally face-tanking cleaves? Like, I think this verbatim is a cleave. Face-tanking a cleave, reaching into the belly mouth, ripping the tongue out the belly mouth, getting torn apart from the face, lunging back in, swinging with the katana, and then immediately going in and declaring that in a battle with the King of Curses, I don't have anything to fear, even when I get up close. He's metal, y'all. He's metal. Is this new? No, he's been metal, but it's still metal. The most metal moment of Yuta Kotsu in the entire series is him laughing off a cleave as he tears out the tongue of the King of Curses. And heck, another character I didn't expect to give respect to, Rika. She's locked in. She's like amazingly locked in. Quite literally locked on too. She bit down on Sukuna. Fantastic work for Rika. She hasn't spoken once in like 2 chapters. But still, I do like it. I like how crazy and focused she is. Fantastic, fantastic. And of course, you know, I gotta give it to her. You know, she doesn't say a word. But simply the motion. Five out of five. 5 out of 5. Fantastic. Fantastic. Like, I have no issue. This is wonderful. Once again, wonderful. Does she say anything? No. Did she make... I'm going to give the same complaint. If Sukuna beats her, it's her fault. I'm going to say it. In the same way that I still low-key blame Yuta for letting Kenny do what Kenny did, because he didn't go for the brain. Maki, you literally could have gone for the neck, just like your mans did, against Kenjaku, and it actually would have been effective this time. Maki, why did you pull a Toji? Why did you pull it? I'm still going to give it a 5 out of 5 for character. I'm still going to glaze Maki because I'm a Maki meat muncher to the day I go. But Maki, I don't like that he's smiling at you like that when you got a blade 3 feet in his guts. I'll put pause on that. It's Sukuna. But of course, we're out of time for character. So let's talk about skill. None of it matters. I mean, kind of so. None of it. Here's the thing, right? Do I want to absolutely give credit to Yuji Itadori for having the nerve, having the gall, having the determination to face tank, well, not face tank, to chest tank a whole cleave? Absolutely. You know, I want to glaze my boy up. I just want to squeeze a whole tube of it all over him. Just lather him up in it. Absolutely. Thing is, this is a super duper, ooper, juper, crooper weak Sukuna. Like a Sukuna that's so weak that he may be weaker than his one finger self. Like, straight up. He even notes, my cursed energy output and my control of this body are both weakening quite a bit. On top of the already massively weakened state he was after the fight with Gojo, plus the battle with Kashimo, plus the battle with Hikaruma, plus the battle with everybody else, plus all this, plus numerous hits from Yuji Itadori, shaking his soul foundations even further. This Sukuna, it's just, like, it's non-scalable. At least in my opinion, it's non-scalable. Because I just don't know. I don't know. Like, sure, it's still insane. I'm still happy, and this still is fantastic. Like, this is scaling more so for a cross-verse sense. This reveals that, hypothetically, if you were to do extreme lethal damage to someone like Yuji Itadori's chest, unless that ability can presumably, like, tear out his whole chest, he can recover from this. That's good. It goes to show that even if you were to maybe, like, do physical damage to Yuta's face or his upper body, he can heal it off. That's good. But in terms of, like, do these characters scale to Sukuna? Yes. This very weak Sukuna. That's it. I cannot claim anything. Like, I've seen some people saying, they've surpassed Gojo. Look at what they're doing to hand body Sukuna. He's super weak right now. He's, undeniably weaker than start a fight Gojo versus Sukuna. Undeniably. Probably weaker than 15 Finger. Probably, heck, once again, I say this and it sounds blasphemous, probably weaker than 1 Finger. I'm straight up saying it just because of how much they're doing to him. But of course, probably not. But then again, if you think that fingers do nothing but give more curse energy, and we know curse energy amounts don't actually correlate to output or anything, his output at 1 Finger may be equal to his output at 20 Finger. As crazy as that sounds, I mean, he's most likely weaker than his 1 Finger self right now. At least in terms of output, based on how much damage, both brain and otherwise, he's taken. So, on a scaling front, none of this really matters. It's unfortunate, but, like, no one's moving up here. It's just not the case. But one thing that is nice, Yuji is confirmed to have blood manipulation. And that does kind of segue into the idea that he could have a domain expansion now. That is on the table. And considering the fact that the domain of Yuta Kotsu ends up shattering this chapter, it's nice. That is useful. That is good. That is scrumdiddlyumptious. And honestly, it is quite tasty. Meaning that Yuta, he may have fallen, but we may have another guy with a domain expansion. Which is good. That is very clearly Sukuna's kryptonite right now, while he still does not have his own domain expansion. Another thing. Yuji may just flat out have resistance to Sukuna, which was believed by a lot of people ever since Gojo dropped that one statement. But notably, you can see that Yuta seems to be cleanly in half here from the Spatial Slash, but I cannot see Yuji being cleanly in half here. However, we do know that Spatial Slashes do tend to have an arc to them, at least if we go by what Kashimo recognizes as a Spatial Slash, meaning that Yuji may have only been grazed by it, while Yuta took the brunt of it. So, there's that for scaling. Either this is a buff for Yuji, or it's just luck. Maybe a bit of both. But with that being the case, I also kind of can't scale Maki anywhere off here. I mean, sure, she's able to tag Sukuna from the back. She's able to hit Sukuna from the back. No pause. We're just going to play the tape. But, once again, even the narrator flat out acknowledges, this strategy was common among Jutsu... I can read. This strategy was common of Jutsu sorcerers. A mediocre plan that Sukuna, under normal circumstances, could have instinctively avoided. So, like, I can't even give her credit for this. Because he would have noticed under normal circumstances. And by normal circumstances, I'm presuming when has all of his arms, is not brain damaged, is not super fatigued, and doesn't have his output at like 2%. So yeah, unfortunately, I can't glaze Maki off at this on a scaling front. That's the only nightmare with a recent series of chapters. Oh, also, Angel's technique kind of sucks. Like, I don't know. Sukuna face tanks it with no issue when it's at maximum output from Yuta Ogotsu. And he's mostly fine. Fine enough that once Yuji fumbles for like 0.2 seconds, not fumbles, when Megumi kind of sells the bag a little bit for 0.2 seconds, he can immediately chant and just tear right through him. Meaning Jacob's Ladder kind of does nothing. Kind of booty me. I don't know. Jacob's Ladder, for how broken of a technique it seems to be, it clearly ain't that broken. Though, admittedly, I don't fully understand why they don't just keep using Jacob's Ladder on Sukuna. Like, I get they're kind of worried for Megumi, but like, I still would have kept it on. But that's a character thing versus actual scaling thing. So scaling, chapter's still fine. It has some nice stuff in it, but not anything too crazy because Sukuna is very unquantifiable right now. And thusly, the feats on Sukuna don't really matter. At least in my opinion. But that leaves us with the future. No, not you. Please. Please. I just need you to restart the timer. Oh, wait. No, you took the few seconds of my time. For the future, I think here's the thing. If Yuta's gone, here's the thing, regardless, I was about to say, if Yuta's gone, it may just have to be a resort back to 215. Like Yuji and Yuta. Not Yuji and Yuta. Yuji and Maki versus Sukuna. But right now, after this 2-week break, I think the next thing we're getting, verbatim, is either Gege would do it. After a break, especially, Gege would do it. Hard cut away to Akari versus Urume. Because we have to wrap that. There's no way. I refuse to believe it. We have to wrap Akari versus Urume. I know I've been saying that for like the past 4 chapters, but we have to wrap it because I don't know. It's not that important. Like, it is important. It's crazy. It's legendary. It's a necessity. It could be one of the greatest battles of the entire series. I said so myself, but we've got to wrap it before we deal anything with Sukuna, right? Like, no way we're gonna drop Maki. We're gonna drop Yuta, and it's just gonna be Yuji versus Sukuna, and then we're gonna cut away, right? That's the other option. That's the thing that I fear. That's the dark future that I fear. But if I had to say, we do need to cut to Akari versus Urume. Because now that Maki's confirmed to not be there, we gotta figure out what's going on over there. Like, how long has the battle been taken? Has Akari finished Urume? Has Urume finished Akari? What's going on? So I feel like that's the next future thing we need to wrap up. But say, hypothetically, in the universe where Gege is actually kind to us and wants to show us peak fiction, Maki versus Sukuna. Of course, on the scaling front, none of it will matter. None of it. Unless it's confirmed that, like, it goes back to the statement in, like, 215. My physical movements are fine. If we get a statement like that, where, like, Sukuna's physicals are the exact same, then again, that would actually be a massive upscale for Yuji and Yuta. I don't think it's the case, considering the control of his body is weakening, so his physical movements aren't fine. While I am super duper excited to see, like, a mid-air crazy battle between the King of Curses and the Ghost of the Zenin, it won't matter on a scaling front, but that's the next thing we're going to have to get here. Presumably, Yuji, as crazy as he is, and as much determination, as much as I glaze him for having insane determination, bro is not easily getting up from this. He is in danger. You can see he's splurting from his chest where he was slashed and his mouth, and I don't see him blood manipulated in all of this. So it's going to take him a second. And clearly, if Yuta Kotsu's even able to get back up after being literally bisected like Satoru Gojo, which I know a lot of... Here's the thing, that's a 50-50 on the future. If Yuta's alive, Yuta fans will be happy, Gojo fans won't be. And if Yuta's gone, I mean, Sukuna fans will be happy, no one else will be. But I think we are just locked in. We're going to get Maki versus Sukuna. Round 2. and we're gonna see how it goes. Though notably, I think Maki's digi-destined to lose. As a massive, gargantuan, next level Maki meet muncher, I would love to say she's going to beat Sukuna. Because technically, legally speaking, all the cards are here for her to just, oh, I'm already in your guts, take it straight through the head. I'm sorry, it sounds weird, but you know what I mean. She could just end it right now. In fact, she could have ended it by removing Sukuna's head, but I still think saving Megumi's on the docket. I still think that's what the game here is, even with Maki appearing and piercing him straight through the back. And also, the parallels. I've seen a lot of people bring it up already. This is a direct callback to not only, no, realistically, by the pose and everything, because the pose is different from what she did against Naoya. This is a callback to Toji versus Teen Gojo, round 1. Where Toji came out of nowhere after multiple battles. He pulled up on a fatigued variation of the strongest sorcerer of the moment and pierced them straight in the back when they weren't expecting it, when their instincts under normal scenarios would have picked it up. And remember what happened. Toji looked real dominant, did real good, and then Gojo got back up and one-tapped him. Two-tapped him. Mainly one-tapped him with Hollow Purple, but, you know, there was a red in there. So, unfortunately, with Sukuna smiling and Maki having not gone for the head, and Maki ultimately, as crazy and as amazing as she is, not being the main person that needs to take down Sukuna, look at Mystery Todori here. Yeah, I think Maki's being set up for failure. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm happy she's here. I'm glad she's gonna get a moment. In the future, if her man is gone, I see her falling too. And that's very, very unfortunate. But still, I'm hyped out of my mind for Maki versus Sukuna round 2. But those are curling a little bit. But overall, this is a perfect chapter. Perfect chapter. Of course, you know, I probably should dock points for the scaling. But, like, it's the nature of the manga right now. When you're in a story, when you're... Oh, no, I'm out of time. Well, it sounds like a little bit. Just to say this. When you're at a point in the story where the chapter name... It says, the decisive battle in the uninhabited demon-infested Shinjuku, part 23, the scaling's going to suffer a little bit. The introduction of new abilities and the utilization of new abilities and the applications of existing abilities such as RCT, restoration, and stuff like that, that's where the main scaling points are going to come from, and I think this chapter is good for that. It still gives us a bunch of stuff that's relevant for other matchups, whether cross-verse or inverse, so that's still good. So I'm going to give the scaling a 5 out of 5. I'm going to give the future hype a 5 out of 5. I'm going to give the characterization a 5 out of 5. And I'm going to give the plot a 5 out of 5. So, yes, this is, in my opinion, a perfect chapter. And you know what that means. Oh, that sounded so battery. But, yes, this chapter is, in fact, worthy. However, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please leave. Please leave the Soul Queen. You can flip. You can make it fun. You can do Soul Queen as in like Soul S-U-S. Not I swear I can spell S-O-U-L Queen as a reference to Maki being the queen who attacks the soul and can perceive it. Or you can do the Soul Queen as in S-O-L-E. You know, like she's the only one that's currently able to fight, and she's in fact the queen, and thusly she's gonna need to cook a little bit of everywhere. But please leave Soul Queen in the comment section down below if you made it all the way to the end of this video. Fun fact, there's a 42, golly, I talked for a minute on that. There's a 42 live reaction, 42 minute, not 42 second, live reaction to this very chapter over on my Patreon for as low as $1 a month, or on the channel right now for members for as low as $3 a month. But let me actually do the outro traditionally. Golly, I can't do things. I cannot mix things up at all. But I want to thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do happen to have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month, get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks will include a 42-minute live reaction to this very chapter, along with ad-free variations of all my videos, and if you're a $25 patron or a $25 member, the ability to order any video you want. But now, I thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dag with a Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members, Wakanda Plays, Red Wolf, 4765, Greyhound, and Atkins Void. And I'd like to give another thank you to our $5 patrons, Victor, Sean, RNG Master, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin, Igneal, and Demix LNT. And I'd like to give another thank you to our $7 members, Autumn Mornings Lazo, Sick Addiction, and Jan Tomas. And I'd like to give another thank you to our $10 patrons, Robbie Uchiha and Joaquin. And I'd like to give another thank you to our $25 member, Alex Ice Rose. I'd like to give a hefty thank you to our $25 patron, Winter. I'd like to give another gargantuan thank you to our $25 patron, Steron. I'd like to give another humongous thank you to our $25 patron, EHAC1. I'd like to give another scrumdiddlyumptious thank you to our $25 patron, ChinaDoll09. I'd like to give a final and gargantuan thank you to our final $25 member, Calvin Elder.